God, man. Bringing the word to all over, man. I'm the Commander General Yohana. This is the spirit of the Lord with these people, with these brothers right here. Let's go. Next brother up. I saw in the cross. Let's go. The true people of God, man. Let's go. Don't forget this brother too. He's a reader. You gotta kiss his book too. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead. That's right. Hey, this right here, listen. This is a respectable white woman. You go to the floor. This is a respectable white woman right here. I can shake your hand. You did the right thing. Now the Lord, He might have mercy on you when He cracked that sky.
Fascism is when you try to suppress another minority group's voice. That's what it is. And you want that. You just admitted you'll kill your own kind.
You said we kill our own kind?
You said
you're right that black people do kill black people, but guess what? White people kill white people too. I don't know if everybody know that. There is a such thing as white on white crime. Listen, we're not suppressing anybody. We're not suppressing anybody. Say that again?
You've been quoting Leviticus 20:13 where gay people should be killed, and you want us.
We never pulled that. So are you a part of the LGBTQ? Are you a part of the LGBTQ?
I also have to deal with your friends over in North Hollywood where they said the exact same shit as you are. You fascist. This is Christian fascism.
What is the definition of fascist?
It's just this. It's when you're trying to spread propaganda that spews an authority figure over others to suppress other minorities.
I can't let you get too close to the mic because you're foaming at the goddamn mouth. But listen, she said we're fascists. We are for nationalism of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. But we are not dictated by anybody. We do have a commander by the name of Commander General Yohana, but we are under Christ and under the Most High. And listen, we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to separate from America. We teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to stop smoking weed. Stop loving whores. You see what you see on Instagram and on Facebook, and black women and Hispanic women half naked? Stop loving those hoes. That's what we teach black men. We also teach black people to stop celebrating Christmas. Stop celebrating Easter. Stop celebrating the culture of America who has raped, robbed, and murdered you for the last 400 and goddamn years, man. That's what we do. We love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And listen, what you see right here is a demon that just came out. Because what the brother was going in was the love of his tribe, the tribe of Issachar, of the Mexicans who America hates. And the question is, why do they hate Mexicans so much? Are Mexicans the only immigrants? They are not the only immigrants. But for some reason, the United States government targets Mexicans. Mexicans are at the border and immigration detention centers. Meanwhile, Asians don't have a green card. Meanwhile, other nationalities can come in here and don't get pressed. But Hispanics get pressed. And you know why they get pressed? Like the brother was bringing out, it's because they're the children of God, man.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. You Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that. Let bygone be. Boy, and she to stop it, and she to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I tell you once, won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed it up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know that it's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets.
Priest and Officer Walker Bar. We back up in here Wednesday night, history class, ball class, scripture breakdown. We're gonna go into food, what the Lord requires us to eat, and what He says we should not eat, do not eat. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Bring out some archaeology on the biblical King David, the warrior King David. Understand God's, a man after the Most High's own heart, and also. We're going to talk about the man, his woman, who you know as the Edomites, the so-called white man and his woman, and how she could be more brutal than he can in most cases. Talk about that taser incident with the brother getting tased. I don't know if some of y'all saw it, but I got the video. We're going to play the video, and then we're going to go into some history, some accounts from when our forefathers and foremothers were enslaved on a plantation, just to give some insight. So what I want to start off with, pay your tithes. Pay your tithes and offerings. This is a sister I had the pleasure of meeting one time. We was at camp in downtown Los Angeles. And these come religiously to the school. This little piece of mail comes religiously to the school. Let me know if y'all can hear us. Give me a 1 if you can hear us, because we're using a different sound format tonight. So, yeah, 1. You can hear us. Sound. Most High in Christ. This is a Christ system. Since the school has been in inception, since this school was created, this sister has been sitting in this. I'm gonna open it right now tonight. Coming religiously, So it's a little package in here. Oh, what's this? What is this? Oh. This sister has been giving priest funds to the school since the school began. This sister has never been to class. Never been to class. But she knows that the priest of God is in the ISBK. That's right. And she pays her tithes and she sends her offerings in to the school. She's been doing it religiously since I can remember. And I had the pleasure one time of actually meeting her, but after the fact, I realized that's who it was. It was at camp, and she just walked by and said hi. I said hi to everybody as she was moving along. And the brother said, that's the sister that always sends her money. And this just goes to show you that you don't have to, when it comes to this truth, we all do things that help one another. Brothers and sisters that see that the truth is here. You don't necessarily have to, get in all black. You don't have to come to class. You don't have to do all of those things. You could just follow the school online, and you could be a part that way. Keep them law, statute, commandments. Keep, those high holy days like the Feast of Dedication, which is tomorrow. And that's all that is really required of you of the Lord. Now, if you want to be a soldier, you want to be on the front lines, then you get in here and you get in all black. Right. If that's what you want to do. But you don't have to do that. But what you can do is support this truth.
Right.
Support this truth like this is a Christ sister right here, man. Let's clap it up for the sister, man. Support the priest and prophets because it's sisters like that and brothers like that that keep this thing moving, that is going to bring about God's kingdom.
Right.
You know what I mean? They ain't on the front lines, they're behind the scenes, but they are effective in making this kingdom push forward and broadcasting this truth to the whole world.
Right. You
understand? So without further, I just wanted to bring that out. So without further ado, and it's funny because I was able to do, I knew I could do that because I already expect that. I expect, like the young man right here, young man of mine, I expect for him to be in class every Wednesday. Like this sister that pays her priests and officers and all, she does everything she's supposed to do. I expect her to do that. I expect, because she's dependable. She's, more importantly, predictable.
Right.
I can predict it. I can predict this brother being in class. This brother has become a pillar in the Southern California school. Brothers can lean on him and predict for him to be there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you want to be. You want to be dependable and predictable. You want somebody to know, you want somebody to know that brother going to be there. That brother is going to do his class. That brother is going to be at this event. That brother is going to be at camp. That sister is going to be, she's going to be at every event, offering her services, offering trying to find out whatever it is that she can do to help the school.
Right.
That's what you want to be in this truth. You want to be dependable and you want to be predictable.
That's right.
So let's clap it up for dependable and predictable. Brother, said, how do you pay your tithes? You can pay your tithes. I believe it's a website, right? So there's an app that we have. Do you have that app?
No, it's the ICBK.org.
You can go to ICBK.org. There's also an app that we have. You can pay it. You can pay it through PayPal. Is there a Cash App also?
Nah.
I know. Me personally, since I've been in the truth, I've been paying it through the PayPal link, which is through the donations link on ISBK.org. So that's for sure a way that you can pay your tithes. Without further ado, what do I want to go into? Let me get that. Let me see. Probably get this story real quick because this one is not that long. I'll pull this video up. So I don't know if y'all seen this video with this brother. This brother's like 6'5" or something. And the cop has him on the ground. So it's a white lady cop. She has him on the ground. She picks him up, walks him to the hood of the car, lays him on the car, puts him down on the car, put her hand on his neck. Right? She's way shorter than the brother, and she has the taser in his back. Right? And then she pulls out a gun. From what I understand, Alabama is an open carry state. You don't even have to have a license to carry, from what I understand. But anyway, she pulls out a gun out of his pocket, where I guess he had already said he had a gun. She pulls it out and says, oh, look what I found. He's like, why are you doing all of that? Like, already. And in the midst of that, she tases him. And she strategically puts the taser on his spine, on his back. Anybody know you put that taser on that spine, it's going to go all the way through your body. Right. And in the male, it's going to go through your body and hit your manhood. It's going to shock you. It's going to be a very painful shocking. You understand? This brother burst out in tears. Then she tells him to shut his B.A. up. You know what I'm saying? And so, from what I understand in the story, she's what you call it, administrative. She's on administrative leave. Administrative leave. So that means that she's not at work, but she's still getting paid. It's no punishment until they do the investigation. But you know how it is in those places, like down south. You could expect that. You could expect for these type of things to happen. And when you see the video, it's a graphic video. When you see the video, it will definitely anger you and make you think about the role that the white woman played in antebellum South, in in the times and the days of the plantation. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this video up for y'all. We're gonna look at this video, and I'm gonna go into some excerpts from a book called "They Were Her Property." Okay.
Stand up. Right there on the front of the car. Stay still.
Now the brother is already in handcuffs. She like, stay still, right? He's already in handcuffs. And as you can see, I'm gonna rewind it. As you can see, the brother's down there she's half his size. The brother looked like he about 6'5". He looked like a damn basketball player. She had him on the floor right there.
Right there on the front of the car. Stay still.
I ain't doing bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying, what you saying? Oh, yeah, fuck. I'm not. Oh, my God. Okay. Down. Oh, my fuck. Oh, my God. Oh, God.
You want it again?
No, man.
Shut the You was big and bad. Shut your up.
She said, do you want it again? You was big and bad. Shut your beat ass up. She said you was big and bad. And now it's like she was just itching to do that and exert her power over this brother. Right? This brother, he's already handcuffed. At that point, what is the threat? Right. And I want to know who the hell is recording. Yeah. It's not a the body cam. It's not the camera on the car. It's clearly somebody holding a phone, and it's down there like she's on training day. This is training day in the South. She got a new trainee with her. I don't know who it is, a partner. I'm saying it's a trainee, and she's showing them this is how we do these niggas. This is how you do it. This is how the job is done. You don't take nothing from them. You exert your dominance over them. You understand? And it's going to come to a time, and the time has already come, where you're going to see that the man, his woman, is just as bad as him.
Right.
And I don't understand why brothers, like I was just looking at it was LeBron James's his boy that he put on that became the top agent in the NBA now. Rich Paul. He's become the top agent in the NBA. Without no experience or nothing like that. LeBron James took him to a meeting when they were having a meeting with some people, and he just looked at his boy and said, "What do you think about it?" in the meeting. And now his boy is the top agent in the NBA. And he just married, from my understanding, a white singer, Adele. And I said, what is it with our people? What is it with brothers where they think that they can get the things that they want and the understanding that they're looking for by going to another race of women? You understand? And so this situation right here is a situation that happens all the time. It happened in the past. And we're going to get into that. And let me just play it one more time.
Stand up. Right there on the front of the car. Stay straight.
I ain't doing bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying what you saying, oh yeah, fuck. I'm not, oh my God! Okay, down, oh my fuck. Oh my God.
It was totally unnecessary. Now the brother, you know how we talk black people, like, okay, I got a gun, but what you saying okay for it? You can open carry in Alabama. I don't understand what, like you make it seem like you just found some cocaine. You make it seem like you just found something that I got that I don't supposed to have.
Oh God. Oh God.
This brother is wailing. Obviously, it's painful as hell. And obviously, she knew what she was doing because she put the taser right on his spine.
You want it again?
No, man.
Shut the
She said, you want it again. Shut the F up. You was big and bad. Now, I have to remind you that this happens every day when they pull over their people. And when they pull over their people cuss them out. White people cuss police officers out. Why in the hell did you pull me over? What's your badge number? Black and Hispanic people, you can't do that. You have to understand the nature of the beast that you are dealing with.
Right.
Give me the preset. The devil is looking who he can devour. You have to understand the nature of the beast that you are dealing with. Yeah, definitely. That is a lawsuit. But a lot of times, this is actually a fatality. This is a murder, an unaliving. Now, if this had been at nighttime, this would have been a totally different story. This encounter. Like the woman that walked into Botham Jean's house because his door was cracked and he's sitting there in his living room eating cereal and she shoots him to death. And she gets off. What you got to understand is that they are just as diabolical. What I'm talking about is the Caucasian woman. They are just as diabolical as their counterpart,
Right.
who is the man. You know what I'm saying? They are just as diabolical. You think because they're women, you're going to get off easy. Y'all don't remember the era. It's still going on, but the era where it was so many Karen videos of Karens literally walking up and antagonizing Black people and Hispanic people for nothing.
Right.
For having a food truck. For selling elotes on the corner. For selling water. For smoking a cigarette. For barbecuing. For walking your dog. Y'all remember that one in New York? The white woman was on the phone telling the police that he had a weapon. She felt threatened. Setting it up so that when the police arrive, they can unalive the brother.
Right.
This is the energy that you're dealing with, but you don't see. You want to marry him and you want to, be accepted by him and you want to, be part of the family. You understand? But this is the energy. Give me that.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
The Bible says to be sober, be vigilant. Sober meaning sober-minded. You have to understand who you're dealing with.
Right.
You are under a spell that you are an American and you got rights. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to let whatever's going to happen to you happen and don't speak up and don't fight back.
Right.
But you also have to be wise enough to understand who are these people that you're dealing with.
Right.
You're not dealing with people that want to honor that you are a human being. You're not dealing with people that want to honor that you have equal rights as them. You're dealing with, keep reading, read it again.
Oh, God. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil,
you are dealing with your adversary. You're dealing with a people, a nation that the Lord said is your adversary. At one time, this people was your brother, came out the same womb. But over time, these people have shown that they are your adversary.
Right.
They are against you. Now, you may have friends, you may be, have co-workers and all of that, and laugh at their jokes and do all of those things. But the core nature of the people is that they are your adversary.
Right.
Read it from the top.
Oh, God. The book of 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant.
Be vigilant, be sober, be vigilant. You have to understand when you're in danger. And if you're a Black, Hispanic, Canadian, Indian man, woman, or child, when you come in contact with law enforcement who are Caucasian, you must be sober. You must be vigilant.
Right.
You must understand what you're being sober is like understanding, okay, this ain't no game. This could go 50-50. I can walk away with this from this with my life, or I could lose my life. So I want to be sober and I want to be vigilant. I want to be sharp.
Right.
I don't want to do anything that can give them the opportunity to take my life.
Right.
I don't even want to do it. You know what? I'm just going to cooperate. Yeah, I don't know why the hell they pulled me over. You need my registration and license? Here you go. All of the attitude, all of the arguing, all of the extra stuff, you don't got to do it. You understand that they are the devil that the Bible speaks of, and you have to be wise when you encounter them in those type of situations.
Right.
You have to be wise. You can't lean on the Constitution. You can't lean on well, I know my rights. Now they can lean on that. Hell, they can get out the car and they can pull a knife, they can pull a gun, and the police will try to calm them down. The police will plead with them. Please, just put the gun down. Let's talk about this.
Right.
Put the knife down. Let's talk about this. Now, on your case, if you even make a movement like you gonna reach for your pockets or anything, your wallet, you get riddled with bullets. I don't understand why our people don't. I do understand, but you have to understand that you can't move the same way as they move with their own people. You can't fight back and argue back and do all of that stuff. Anybody remember Sandra Bland? It's damn near like ancient history. Like how many Black and Hispanic people have been alive at the hands of law enforcement? It's like ancient history, like because you have so many, it's like it just keeps stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking. It just keeps going and going and going. It's almost like when it comes to our deaths, it's like it's like the music today. You know how the music, they say the music is trash, right? Everybody's copying everybody. Everybody makes this, everybody sounds the same. They make a song and then it's forgotten about the next month. Well, that's Black and Hispanic people that have been unalived by law enforcement. You're forgotten about because there's so many of you. You become a hashtag, but then you're forgotten about because now there's a new hashtag.
Right.
There's somebody new. The brother, what is his name? So like, y'all can correct me if I'm forgetting his name. Elijah McCain, the brother that he had a job. I think he might have been like autistic or something. He's on his way walking home. He couldn't get a ride. Somehow he's walking home. And the officers stop him because he has a hood. He has his hood on. And, you know, because he has his condition and how he is, they don't understand that. So they put him in handcuffs with struggle. Then paramedics come and they shoot him up with some kind of stuff. I don't know what the stuff is, supposed to calm you down or something. Well, they killed him. They just said the officers and all them, they just got off scot-free. We die so easily. We die so easily under the hands of these people. So it would be smart for us to be taught in our households how to be sober and vigilant and wise when we're dealing with law enforcement.
Right.
Read it from the top.
Okay. The book of 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil.
The devil is not a red man for you black Christians, the devil is not a red man under the ground with a pitchfork and waiting for you to come down there.
Right.
Or he's not the one that is making you have a bad day today. Because you black Christians love to say that it is the devil when something is going wrong, when really it's the spirit that you got.
Right.
Really it's what's in you while you're having a bad day. You understand? Really it's you. The devil, that how you learned the devil in the black Christian church does not exist. Go ahead.
As a roaring lion.
The devil is like a roaring lion. He is like have you seen the roar of a lion? It will put you in awe, but it also will send a chill down your damn spine. He is like a roaring lion. Keep going.
Walking about, seeking whom he may devour.
Walking about, seeking who he may devour. And it is so many of us that are right there like lost sheep for the slaughter, ready to be devoured by the devil,
right,
by your oppressor, by the people who had you enslaved. And now they have you enslaved mentally, and now you get caught up and you're enslaved in chains, in probation, in parole, locked up in chains. If you don't get put to death. That's if you don't get put to death. These people are the embodiment of Satan on earth. They are the physical counterpart. Now, Satan is Satan, but they are the physical counterpart of him on earth, doing the work of him on earth,
right,
making sure the children of the prophets be put to death and go like cattle to the slaughter, just walking, not knowing that you're going getting closer and closer to your death. Get pulled over, not knowing that death is right there. It is a flaming sword ready to cut your soul and put you into the ground.
Right. And
you think you got rights. And then you think like you can just say what you want to say, what you can. There's nothing against saying what you want to say. But you think you can move how you want to move without no wisdom. That's not going to work in this world.
Right.
Not for black and brown people. Like if you get caught in that situation, you will have to hope that the Lord is with you.
Right.
The Lord will have to be with you. It's getting to that point. Is there any more on that? Now I'm gonna get this book. 1 second, get this book real quick. This book is called. Drop this. And make sure all of y'all have been here. I see a couple of y'all in here. Make sure it's like, let me see, it's like about 22 people in here. Make sure you like and you share this video. Do that for me. We're gonna get into this food. We're gonna get into clean and unclean, and this is gonna help somebody else. This is gonna educate your people. So help your people by sharing and liking this video.
Right.
No sweat, no sweat. So this is the book that I'm gonna be reading from. Just so I'm gonna put it on the screen so that y'all can see. Okay. The book is called "They Were Her Property." I'm gonna read a few excerpts from this book. Let me pick it up real quick. It says they were her property. White Women as Slave Owners in the American South. It's by Stephanie E. Jones Rogers, which is a sister that wrote this book. So go ahead and get this book. This book is it's like $10. I got it on Kindle. Okay. Let's see now. I'm gonna read some. Okay. We'll read a little bit. Okay. So it says, in the fall of 1844, John de Verroux's executors held a drawing during which they pointed out de Verroux's slaves to his widow. Not pointed out. They portioned out his slaves to his widow, his daughter, and his 2 sons. The group of enslaved people that each of their heirs drew were documented in the records. It is noteworthy that de Verroux's marriage It is noteworthy that de Verroux's married daughter Frances received the largest portion of his estate. 13, for reasons that remain unclear. These kinds of estate divisions also occurred when slave owners were still alive. Sally Crane did not understand why her master's property was being divided because he wasn't dead. He wasn't dead yet, or he wasn't dead nor nothing. But nonetheless, she failed to miss Evelyn, his daughter. Now, this is something that many people don't know. So they would portion out the slaves while the slave master was still alive. They would do a thing like how you cast lots or shoot dice, and the slaves would fall and to be divided into all the children, even when the master was still alive. Meaning, like when he died, it was already determined which slaves was going to go to who. Now, this is the thing, though. You might be a whole family, and so you have a mother, a father, and your siblings, and maybe your mother goes to the brother, and maybe you go to the sister, and then they live in totally different places. So essentially, you would be ripped apart. Your family will be ripped apart. You know what I mean? When everything panned out as far as who you were portioned out to as a portion to the white children. Okay. Now I'm gonna keep going. It says, this is talking about a sister when they had a baby. When the white master had a new child, what they would do is all the slaves would have to come. And you would have to come to the bed of that white child, bow on your knees, and say, "Hi, master. Master." Call that baby master. And so sometimes you would be, maybe 10, 12, 13 years old, and you are given to the child who's just a baby. And you have to, be there for the baby, do whatever you got to do for the baby. Well, in this case, this is a sister that was, she was the servant of a girl. And these are the things she had to do, okay? It says that Fitz attended her young mistress every need and want. So the slave woman was called a mistress, not to get it mixed up with a mistress that's, a side piece. A mistress in slave times was like, this is a woman with power, a woman that, she has some power because she is the mistress of the plantation. Fitz attended her young mistress every need and want. It says that I was with Miss Annie all the time and tend to her. I was with her night and day. I sleep at the foot of her bed. God damn. So she was with her so much that she slept at the foot of the white woman's bed. You understand? I was with her night and day. I sleep at the foot of her bed. I keep the flies off with the fan. So she would keep the flies away from this white woman by fanning her. This is your history, black man, black woman. It says, gets her drink and such, goes places to get things for her. When she am ready to go to sleep, every night, I rub her feet. From Annie's, I rubs her feet from Annie's head to her toes. Fitz, this is the sister. Fitz, show 10 to Missy. Jenny Fitz, now, another thing I left out is that you would be named after that child. Meaning they would give you the name of the slave master. So if my name was James Buchanan, your name would be something Buchanan. Okay. It says that from Annie's head up, so like, let me where I'm at. Okay, Jenny's Fitz undoubtedly had to learn how to complete many of the tasks that her mistress asked her to perform. Right? And then it goes in to talk about how Annie, the mistress, also had to learn how to be a mistress. So the slave children had to learn how to be servants, while the master's children had to learn how to be masters. Right? Now this is another one. It says, some owners forbade slaves to name their own children. Here we go. And in a not so subtle way, slave owning adults indicated future ownership when they named enslaved infants after their own children, or even allowed their children to name enslaved infants. That's how much of a slave you were. You were like cattle and like cats and like dogs, where they said, I won't even name them. I'm gonna allow my 4-year-old son to name this slave. That's how they treated us. You understand? Let me keep going. It says, now I want y'all to pay attention to this one. Now it says, enslaved people paid a high cost if they failed to use the salutations such as calling a child a baby master. It says Rebecca James Grant would not call her mistress's young son master. One day, her mistress wrote a note and asked her to deliver it to a local store clerk. The clerk prepared a package in accordance with the note's instructions and gave it to Grant to deliver to her mistress. When she returned, she quickly learned what was inside. It was a cowhide strap about 2 feet long. Her mistress immediately pulled the whip out the package and began to beat Grant with it. She didn't know why her mistress was beating her until she explained, "You can't say Master Henry?" Grant quickly responded, yes, sir, ma'am. I can't say, I can say Master Henry. She bitterly remarked to her interviewer, Master Henry was just a little boy, about 3 or 4 years old. They wanted me to say master to him, a baby. So that's that woman that you seen in that video that's tasing that brother. That is the same woman.
Right.
That is her ancestor. That is her bloodline. That is the spirit that they had. She beat this sister because this sister wasn't saying master. She sent her. She wrote a note, sent her to the clerk. The clerk read the note, probably looked at her, and said, "Okay," and put a cowhide in there. And when she got back, she beat the hell out of her, and she didn't even know why she was getting beat. Until the white woman said, "You can't say Master Henry. What's your problem? You don't know how to call him master?" That's who you're dealing with.
Right.
You understand? Let me see. There's some more, I'm sure. This is another one. It says, okay, here we go. When another formerly enslaved woman fought to refer to her mistress's 8 or 9-year-old daughter as Miss, her mistress put her in a stock and beat her. While she was in the stocks, the woman twisted her leg until it broke, and even then continued to beat her until she was satisfied her point had been made. That's another account of the type of woman that you're dealing with when you encounter Karens in law enforcement, Karens at work, Karens everywhere. You understand? This is their ancestor. And this is the spirit that is in them. Not according just to what we just read, but according to the Bible, that is the spirit that is in them. You understand? So when you see the things that you have seen, when you see the things like that video we just played with that brother getting tased, and she deliberately putting the taser on his spine while he's handcuffed, which is no reason at all, but to exact her power over him. You understand that these people, you have to deal with them in a way that is very smart, very wise. Or you can find yourself not only just being tased, but in the early grave, because they are the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
And they roam around looking for who they can devour.
Right.
That is the whole concept of law enforcement. The whole concept of law enforcement is to roam around the hood looking for who is a somebody that is somebody you can lock up, right. Somebody that you can fill the quota. They're not rolling around a nice neighborhood. I can go to a nice neighborhood right now and sit there all night, and I'll never see a black and white. I see them all damn day, every day in the hood. You see them everywhere, back and forth. Their whole job is to patrol black and Hispanic neighborhoods and to lock you up. Give me what is it? What is that one? Is it Isaiah 42 and 22? Isaiah 42 and 22.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
This is a people robbed and spoiled, robbed of your identity and spoiled, losing your value. That's what spoil means, to lose your value, just like a piece of spoiled meat. It loses its value once it's spoiled. It can't be eaten. It can't be sold. It's good for nothing.
Right.
You've lost your identity. You've lost the law, statute, and commandments. You are a people that have been robbed. Somebody has stolen your identity. You got an imposter over there in Israel right now that has stolen your identity, that claims to be you, that has taken the birthright from the God of heaven and earth, from you.
Right.
Go ahead.
Are all of them snared in holes?
They are all snared in holes, and you are all snared and trapped in holes. Keep reading.
They are all of them snared in holes. And they are hid in prison houses.
And they are hid in what?
They are hid in prison houses.
They are hid in prison houses. The United States has the biggest prison population in the whole world. Black and Hispanics are least of the population, but the number one in prison. The whole time the devil is driving around your neighborhood looking who he could devour, who he can unalive, or who he could lock up and make more money off of. That is God's chosen people, man. Is there any more on that?
They are for a prey, and none delivereth.
They are for a prey, and none delivereth. You are a prey item in the food chain. You ain't the baddest nigga on the block. You ain't tough. You are prey. You acting hard. You selling. You got keys. You selling birds. You doing this. You got scams going on. You running a syndicate of drugs. Whatever you think you're doing, you are a prey.
Right.
You are robbed and spoiled. You done lost your birthright. You done lost your identity, your understanding of who you are. You're spoiled. You like rotten meat, and then you are a prey for these other nations.
Right.
You think that you shine bright in the hood. You the nigga with all the street cred. Everybody know you. Everybody love you in the streets. Niggas is scared of you in the streets. But then again, you're just prey.
Right.
Read that part again. You just pray.
They are for a prey, and none delivereth.
You are for a prey. I was just talking to a sister last night where she was saying she was trying to get back with a brother that she had been talking to. She was trying to get back with him, but he sells drugs, right? He sells drugs, and she didn't. One day they're going someplace, and he gets out the car with his backpack, and a whole bunch of dope falls out the backpack with a gun and all kind of stuff. And she's like, she don't want to be a part of that, because what if she's driving one day with him and he looks suspicious and he's in the passenger seat and they get pulled over, then she's done.
Right.
And I explained to the sister that there is no silver lining in the street life. I don't know nobody, all of the street heroes, all of the, the knockout artists, all of the people that I seen when I was growing up used to come through the hood and throw money to all the kids and do all these big things. They're gone. They're dead or in jail forever. And so all of these people, what we glorify in the neighborhood as Black and Hispanic and Native Indian people, we glorify our destruction because those people are a prey. Read it again.
They are for a prey, and none delivered. For a spoil.
Go from the top. Yeah, read from the top.
This is the book Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Right.
They are all of them snared in holes.
Snared in holes. Go ahead.
And they are hid in prison houses.
Hid in prison houses. Go ahead.
They are for a prey, and none delivered.
They're for a prey. We're just for a prey. We're a prey item in the food chain. And in the Black community, we think that we're doing something big in the streets, in the street life, whether you're selling drugs, whether you're doing the white collar crime, whatever you're doing, you are still a prey item. That the devil who's looking who he can devour, he's going to prey on you.
Right.
And he's going to be successful because you don't know the Lord and the Lord is not with you. The Lord is not with you. You're done. You're done. How many times in the Bible where you see the Israelites prevail against an army that is bigger than them. You've seen it plenty of times, but the Lord was with them.
Right.
Because they turning to the east in seeking the Lord and doing what the Lord is commanding them to do. But you in the hood, living your life, however big you think your team is in the rap game, whatever the case may be, you are a prey item. You don't understand the big picture because you robbed and spoiled, you robbed of identity, and you're spoiled. You don't know your identity. You don't know who you are. You've lost the value that you really actually have. Your value, like Black and Hispanic people, we look at our value. Okay, let me put it this way. The way our value is, the way we value ourselves is through Stockholm Syndrome. Anybody know what Stockholm Syndrome is? Stockholm Syndrome, let me give you a brief history. Stockholm Syndrome comes from Stockholm, Sweden, where there was a bank robbery and hostages were taken, right? And these hostages are with these bank robbers sitting there, for a long time, whatnot. After a while, they're talking and they're getting to know each other. And then after it's all over, you have some of the hostages get into relationships with the bank robbers because they seen the good in these bank robbers. After the bank robbers tell them their story and tell them why they robbed the bank. It's almost like a movie. Well, Black and Hispanic people, you have Stockholm Syndrome, right? Because the people that have murdered you, that have spilled your blood into the ground over for centuries, once they show a little bit of humanity, now you start to look at them in a different light and you start to love them and you start to think different of your oppressor. And so when it comes to how we feel about the value that we have in ourselves, the value that we see in us is dunking a basketball. You know why? It's because the sports analysts praise us. The coaches praise us. Those white sports analysts, ESPN and the coaches and the colleges, the scouts, they praise us. They talk about the game. So we find that that's what we need to do. And that's where we get our value and our confidence from. We get our value and our confidence from the critics saying how good we can dance. Right. And we're a great performer. And we look at our ticket sales. That's where we get our value and our confidence from. So all of the things that we get our value and our confidence from is the things that we're able, we're naturally God-given. God naturally gave us these things, and we do these things, but that's not who we are. That's a little small piece of who we are. Right. You know what I mean? We're God's chosen people. We're the Israelites of the Bible. We are the biblical ethnic Jews of the Bible. That's right. We are the people who are supposed to be ruling the goddamn earth. Right. But yet we have lost our value. We have lost the identity and the understanding that life is more than entertainment. Like we think our life, a great life would be an entertainer. We have become the entertainers of the world. Through Stockholm Syndrome, through feeling like, okay, I've accomplished something. I'm somebody. I mean something because I got 32 touchdowns. I mean something because I scored 100 points in a basketball game. I mean something because, I won a dance-off contest. That is meaningless in the world of the Most High. Right. You understand? You can drop that. We're going to drop that. We're going to move on to let's get Leviticus 11. We're going to move on to food, okay? We'll move on to food. Hey, anybody that's new that had came into the class, listen, if you're in this class, if you're learning anything, if you're getting inspired, make sure you like and share this class. Hit that like button, hit that share button. To water. What you got? Leviticus. Where we gonna go? We're gonna go into food now. We're gonna talk about clean and unclean foods, okay? Because this is something that is bedrock and foundational to us learning our heritage and learning that we're the biblical ethnic Jews. that number one, starts at a simple form of what we put in our mouths, what we eat, and what we don't eat. And this just shows you that a lot of things that we do as far as food consumption is also following other nations. Okay, so oh, you're right, Sister Barathana. What I was just saying, she says that, and it keeps us motivated, not knowing who we are. So the entertainment business, and that being the pinnacle, being the best we can do, in the best examples of who we are, that keeps us motivated of not knowing who we are.
Right.
You know, why would a child want to know who they are when you got Sexy Red and you got Beyonce and you got Michael Jordan and LeBron James and you got, you know, these figures that white society puts up on the television screen and says they're great because of their physical gifts? What child would really want to care to know who they are? What child would want to care that Christ is a black man? When they go to church and they see a white Jesus, and when they see a story or a book about God's people, it's always people who are white, never people who are black. What child, what black child, what brown child would even care to know that Christ is a black man? You know, they wouldn't. So that's a good point, sis. That's a good point. I'm gonna give you the steps real quick. Let's start at verse 1. Right.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
So we're talking about the animals that you can eat that are among, all the animals of the earth. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat.
So when it comes to the beasts that you can eat, whatever is cloven-footed, and they cheweth the cud. What does cheweth the cud mean? Somebody, what does cheweth the cud mean? You can still answer, but I want somebody to also put it in the chat. Go ahead.
Like eat grass or like hay.
That's part of it. Yeah, that's part of it. I explain it. That's part of it. Anybody in the chat, read it from the top again. Verse 4.
Verse 4. So like verse 4.
Verse 4. Verse like it. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat.
Okay. Let's see. I think I know who answered me. So cheweth the cud part. Is anybody answering? Anybody want to give a stab at it online? Animals that parteth the hoof, cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud. Okay. So animals that part the hoof are animals that have the part. They have that part. It's like a part right here, right? Where it divides.
Right.
And then they're cloven-footed, where they stand on that divide. They stand on that kind of like I don't know why I didn't make it, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me, but I can pull it up. Let me pull it up real quick for you. That's the one thing I didn't make because I assumed that a lot of people understand. Let me pull it up for you. Let's see. One second. doesn't chew completely. No, sis. I'm gonna get to it. I got you. This is why this is gonna be very educational, just educational for brothers and sisters, period. But let me present this. And I want you to reread verse 3.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 3.
One second. Okay. Go ahead.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 3. Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat.
So part of the hoof, you got that part in there. See that part in that diagram? And then it's cloven-footed, meaning what it stands on is cloven, the foot, that black part. And then cheweth the cud. What cheweth the cud actually means is that the animal eats the grass, and then the grass goes in a chamber, it gets partially digested, and then it comes back up, and they chew it again. Then it goes back down, gets digested again, goes into another stomach, then goes to the intestines, right? So it's almost like the best way to describe it is like the cow. It has like 4 chambers. Some people say it has 4 stomachs. But chewing the cud is basically rumination. That's the word you're looking for. Ruminating animal, an animal that ruminates, where it eats the grass, it goes down, and it comes back up, and it chews it again. Then it goes back down. So that's what cows do. That's what a lot of clean animals do. And that's why you always see them chewing constantly. So I'm going to play this video to, it's a short video. It'll elaborate and it'll go more into detail.
All grass-eating animals have a special stomach with 4 chambers, namely rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. Let's see the process of digestion in grass-eating animals. The animals quickly swallow the grass and store it in rumen, the first chamber of the stomach. In the rumen, the food gets partially digested. The partially digested food is called cud. The cud is pushed into the reticulum, the second chamber of the stomach, and from here it is sent back into the mouth for thorough chewing. The process of chewing the cud is called rumination, and animals which chew the cud are called ruminants. The rechewed food is swallowed and sent into the omasum, the third and the smallest chamber of the stomach, to absorb excess water from the food. In the omasum, the food is broken down to even smaller pieces. This is then sent to the last chamber, abomasum, which is also called the true stomach. The digested food then goes into the small intestine, where absorption of nutrients takes place. A large sac-like structure called cecum, present between the small intestine and large intestine, also contain bacteria that help in the digestion of cellulose, a carbohydrate that is present in grass. So, you now know why cattle keep chewing all the time.
So, that is chewing the cud. So that's animals that do that. They got to have the hooves, the split hoof, and they have to chew the cud or be an animal that is a ruminating animal. Now, as y'all know, like I know right there, that's science. What y'all just saw, that's science. And the Lord knew science back then. When they talk about science ain't in the Bible, that's science right there.
Right.
An animal that is clean, like a cow, compared to a pig, which we will get into, that the food goes straight through, eats anything, and the toxins go into its body, and then you eat those toxins. Unclean.
Right.
Understand? Keep reading.
Verse 4. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divideth the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but not divideth the hoof.
So you're not supposed to eat the camel, right? Because the camel he is a ruminating animal, but he doesn't chew saliva. He is a ruminating animal, but he doesn't divide what?
But he divideth not the hoof.
He divided not the hoof. Now here's the diagram of the camel. Now the camel actually does chew the cud. He does have the same processes of eating, but when you look at his hooves, they're not really the hooves. It's divided at the top, but at the bottom it's like a paw. And then it's like he has two nails. So it's almost like he looks like he's like animals that ruminate are standing on their hooves. They're not standing on flat-footed on a paw. And so people can get it confused and say, well, the camel, he has both of those characteristics. He does not.
Right.
And that's why the Bible had to specify that specifically in that verse. Keep reading.
Verse 5. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud.
The coney is a rabbit,
but divided not the
but
hoof.
he doesn't have divided hooves.
He is unclean unto you.
He is unclean to you. The rabbit. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And the swine, though
wait. Go back again.
Verse
I think you skipped.
Verse 6. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
So you have right here the example on the left is the rabbit or the coney, and you have the hare on the other side. Another example. They chew up the cud, but they don't divide the hoof. Okay. Keep going.
Verse 7. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof, and he be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
So now the swine has a different thing, and we're gonna go heavy into this swine real quick. He does have the cloven foot, but he don't chew up the cud. The swine eats any damn thing. And Black and Hispanic people, you have a real bad problem with letting that pig go, letting that pork go. Like a lot of times when you tell Black people and Black and Hispanic people about the truth, they be like, "Yeah, I agree. Man, that is deep. You brothers are deep. Like, how can I sign up?" We say, "But you can't eat pork though." I can't do that. I can't let go of my bacon. Excuse me. I can't let go of ham. Like, everything be hinging on pork. I've even heard a person say, "I can't let go of pork chops." Now, me personally, when I was growing up in the world, pork was in my household. And I couldn't stand pork chops. I hated pork chops. So for me to hear somebody say, "I can't let go of my pork chops," it's like, what? Like, I could understand if you say bacon, because I love bacon. But pork chops, I'm like, bro, really? Like, damn, it is really that deep. So read it from the top again.
Verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you.
The swine is unclean. He cheweth not the cud. Now, these are some things like Black and Hispanic people. These are some things that maybe y'all can add to it in the comments. Okay. Now this is the pig. And these are some of the things we get from. We get carnitas, bacon, pork chops, ham hocks, chitlins. Ooh, chitlins. Chitlins had a house funky. Y'all know what chitlins is?
Oh, okay.
You know what chitlins is? Yeah. Chitlins had Black people love the inside of some damn pigs. And guess what? That was the only thing that we were allowed to get. We got the leftovers. We got the worst parts of the animals. We got the worst parts of the animals. You understand? Y'all add to it. What up? Pesole, ham, pork links, pork rinds, pickled pig feet, lard, These things are staples in the black and brown community. Chorizo. Rib said I don't say it right. Chorizo. 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 Chorizo, I know you can make it in beef or pork, but if you get it from a restaurant, it's gonna be pork. Menudo. It's gonna be, it can be beef or pork, but if you get it from a restaurant, it's gonna be pork. A lot of times when you get beans from Issacharite establishments, they put lard in the beans. That's how they put lard in the beans. I found out, man, I almost died when I found out Popeye's red beans and rice had pork in it. I was like, damn, nigga can't have nothing. Can't have nothing. Everything got pork in it. You know what I mean? But we use a lot of these things. They use lard to fry chicken, to put in beans, to fry all kind of things. And you know, black people and Hispanic people love those pork rinds. What they call them in Spanish?
Chicharrones.
Chicharrones. Y'all know y'all love those chicharrones. You love that honey ham. They be having the ham with the pineapples on it for Christmas. The pickled pig feet they used to have in every liquor store. I don't know if they still be doing it like that, but they used to have pickled pig feet, y'all. Just like how you got pickles in a jar, they used to have pig feet in a jar. You could buy on the counter at the liquor store. And we as kids, we used to get it. I can't believe it. I can't believe thinking back like I used to eat that crap. I pray the Lord forgive me for that. For real. Carnitas, pork chops, ham, the chitlins, hold on 1 second. Let me show you something. Y'all love those chitlins, huh? Chitlins had a whole house stinking. Look at the bottom right corner. Yeah. You eating pig groceries. You eating pig butthole. That's what you eat. So like, I think I can say that. But this is a food that was created in slavery. This is a food that you created because after they got through taking everything, they threw you the crap that they didn't want. And you made delicacies called soul food with it. The Lord said that this is unclean to you, man. Pork is unclean. It's an unclean beast. Why would you eat it?
Right.
Why would you? In ancient times, all nations knew that pork was unclean, and you would get negative health effects from eating pork. But in America, they pushed pork and said pork was the other white meat. But today they say that pork is not actually a white meat. It is a red meat. And people suffer from all type of physical ailments. Even cancer comes from pork. You're eating the toxins. And let me just show you this video real quick. Let's see what they said. Let me see. Somebody does. Right, sis. It's gross. Horrible. At the right top corner, that's a butthole they hold. That's what you eat when you eat chitlins. That's what, not you, but that's what brothers and sisters are eating when they eat chitlins. And if y'all go Google chitlins, oh man, they done got crazy with it. They done start making chitlins look like it's a damn delicacy. They put green onions and different color herbs and stuff, trying to dress it up and make it just look like a delicacy. Let me present this. Let me show you this real quick, y'all. Y'all gonna trip out on this.
Okay, look, smells it, doesn't even want to look at it. You know what they want? I'll tell you. And they don't eat meat. Let's throw all that in there. Okay. Okay, now they're going to eat that. Okay, now watch what happens. We're going to go ahead. They're going to change tunes here in a sec. I already know what they're going to do. I'm going to throw this one over there. And they're getting a variety of stuff. Look. Okay. And the real stinky stuff, you know what they do? They roll in it. They don't eat it. They roll in it first. Now here it goes. Watch. I'm going to throw it way over here. See if anybody wants that. Well, let's see. He's choking over there on the dry food because he's eating it too fast. Yeah, look at you. Look at him. He's going to go throw up.
Now, let me just say that what he's doing is showing you that they will prefer to eat something that's dead and dying, that's rotten flesh. The fish that he has that he's going to throw over there, this fish was something that he carved up the day before. So he's saying that he already told you, if you watch the video, it's stinking, it's funky, it's nasty. And so he has 2 pigs that he's never fed flesh. They eat vegetables and grains and stuff like that. So he throws grains and cereals over there. And he also has like bananas and things of that nature that he's throwing down. Then he throws the fish down to show you that they go from all of that to go to this rotten flesh, to start eating this rotten flesh. I'm going to keep playing.
Stuck in your throat. Run. Get it going. Remember, he's not breathing right now. He's got it stuck in his throat. Look. I know you ate dry stuff too quick. Yeah, you're better now. Dedu, you don't want that fish? She didn't smell it yet. Let's see what this one smells. And now she's back. Now she's going to go back to it. Let's see. Okay. Oh. Okay. She can eat anything she wants. And this one hasn't got the taste yet, because if Nanu knows that she's eating something better than that, then Nanu is going to steal it from her, because she's the head alpha there. Okay. Look. Listen to the bone crushing. Oh. Okay, now these guys, remember, have better noses than a bloodhound. They have stronger jaws than a Rottweiler. These are very, very strong predators. She's 300 plus pounds. Okay, look at them, chewing the bones down, swallowing everything whole. They're scavengers. You eat the pig, remember that. You guys are eating pig, all I can say is this is what pigs do. They eat anything. Rotten, that's rotten flesh. And they're loving it. Look, get it.
So you have it right there. That's the pig. The pig are scavengers. And they chose to eat the rotten flesh over anything else. They had potatoes, bananas, they had grains, they had all kind of other stuff they could eat, but they gravitated to the rotten flesh. Now, many people know this, and some of y'all probably don't know this, but pigs were used as natural garbage disposals. Pigs were used that if you have a farm and you have refuse, and you have stuff you want to throw away, you use your pigs to eat that. They're natural garbage disposals. Okay. Also, there's a video with a brother. Actually, he's working. Some of y'all probably remember this. He's working in a actual waste management facility where it is separating the waste, grinding it up to powder, and he's showing you that this stuff that they separate and grind up to powder, they use it as pig feed. They give it to the pigs to eat. They eat anything. And because they eat so fast, all of the toxins and the stuff that's in what they're eating goes straight into their muscle, goes into their body. They don't have glands, they don't sweat. You understand what I'm saying? So when you eat that, that is what you're eating. You're eating garbage. The Most High said don't eat it. It is unclean to you. You didn't have to know the science why you shouldn't eat it. Right. You don't have to know that you get worms from eating pork, worms in your belly and in your brain. You don't have to know that to know that I'm just going to obey the Most High.
Right.
If I would have just obeyed the Most High, maybe I wouldn't have all of these physical problems going on with my body, where the doctor don't know what the hell's wrong with me.
Right.
Maybe I should stop eating pork. Maybe I should stop eating, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Maybe I should just do what the Lord says. Why do I need to know all of the tests and studies and what scientists say to convince me?
Right.
Maybe you should just not eat what the Lord says is unclean.
Right.
Keep reading.
Verse 8, of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch.
So you're not supposed to eat it or touch it. The pork, how can I say? The Lord put a special focus on this pork. Not only you don't eat it, don't touch it.
Right.
Don't even touch it. Go ahead.
They are unclean to you.
What verse you on?
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, that them shall ye eat.
Right. So keep going.
Verse 10. And all that have no fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
And what verse you on?
Verse 10. I just finished verse 10.
Verse 10, okay. So anything that doesn't have fins or scales is an abomination to you.
Right.
And I'm trying to kind of focus in on the things that Black and Hispanic people like to eat, right? But then again, I'm putting some things in there that just for knowledge, just to have that knowledge, that common knowledge of, these things you shouldn't eat. A lot of things that the Lord said don't eat, you can look at that, what he said don't eat, and you can make a determination just from that of all other things not to eat. It's like called common sense. Like, I don't want to eat a bear. I don't want to eat a snake. Like, why would I want to eat that? Like, it's something in a lot of us. I ain't gonna say all of us, because there's a brother online right now that he smokes and cooks meat, and he cooked black bear, right? And he went viral off of that. But if you go to the comments, you see so many Black and Hispanic people saying, like, bro, come on, like, why don't you just cook some brisket? Why don't you just some chicken? Like, you doing too much. Like, it's in us to a certain extent to understand, like, there's some things you just are not supposed to eat.
Right.
Why do you look at a damn, what is it, a swan or a parakeet or a bear or a tiger and feel like you got an appetite? I want what tiger meat tastes like. Like, why would you even be in that type of mindset? But the thing is that all these other nations, they have no boundaries on what to eat and what not to eat. And that's why the Lord had to put these laws down for us to understand what is clean and what's not clean. Because the same way that we want to go and follow their gods, we want to go and eat what they eat too.
Right.
You understand? Read verse 10 again.
Okay. Verse 10. And all that have no fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and of all that move in the waters.
Anything in the water that doesn't have fins or scales in the seas or in the rivers. Let me put this diagram up. Keep going.
And of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
They shall be an abomination to you. You know what I'm saying? Mussels, oysters, shrimp. Now, you love that shrimp. In America, they say what? Shrimp is a delicacy. Lobster, crab is a delicacy. Why is this? Go ahead. Read it one more time.
Oh. Verse 10. And all that have no fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
They're an abomination to you. Mussels. I've never wanted a mussel, never had it, but I have had oysters, which was in the cans back in the day. You know, we used to eat oysters with the hot sauce and the Doritos or the crackers, right? Canned oysters, mussels, oysters, shrimp. Shrimp is considered a delicacy in America. I remember one time we had got the what happened? We had something that happened where we had got extra money, and I had my rib get me a bag of shrimp, like a little bag of shrimp from the grocery store. Like I was just on, you know, made my butter, and I ate them, and I got sick. It's because we're not supposed to eat those things.
Right.
Crab. A lot of y'all love crab meat and the imitation crab meat, right? Lobster. People think they're rich when they eat lobster. A lot of restaurants serve lobster with steak and mashed potatoes. Catfish. I've never had catfish, but black people I know love catfish just from being in the fish market. Black and Hispanic people love catfish. Catfish, these animals are like these crustaceans and these things that I just named, all of those that I just named are water filtration systems. They filter the water.
Right.
Mussels filter the water. Oysters filter the water. Shrimp eat anything that is dead at the bottom of the sea or ocean. Crabs eat anything that is dead, decaying, and dead at the bottom of the ocean. Lobsters do the same. And catfish are filtration systems for rivers. Dolphins. Dolphins have fins, but they don't have scales. Sharks have fins, but they don't have scales. Tuna has fins, but it doesn't have scales. This is something that the so-called Jewish man says is clean because they have scales that are microscopic, but they are unclean to us, right? Octopus, we already know that. The Moabites tear that octopus up. The Moabites be killing that, eating it while it's still alive. And of course, whale. Which these are things that we know deep down inside. We don't want them, but there are cultures and peoples that eat these things and will eat them and make them look like they are good and delicious. When the Lord said, "Do not touch these things."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anything else?
Verse 11.
Hey, Shalom, Bahab. Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Shalom, Davion. Go ahead.
They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination.
Mm-hmm. Their carcasses are it should be an abomination to you. It's an abominable. Okay. It's an abomination. It's disgusting. An abomination is something that is disgusting and vile to the Lord. Keep reading.
Verse 12. Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you.
Right.
And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls.
Among the birds of the air. Go ahead.
They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle and the ossifrage and the osprey. Verse 14. And the vulture and the kite after his kind. Every raven after his kind.
Wait, slow down. Did you say the glee?
I haven't got it.
Okay, so read that from the top, that last precept.
Verse 13. And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle and the ostrich and the osprey. Verse 14. And the vulture and the kite after his kind.
Okay.
Every raven after his kind.
Now, slow down. Now, so we're going to deal with that right now. The eagle, the ostrich, the osprey, the vulture, the kite. These are animals. These are birds that are birds of prey. These are birds that eat other birds. The vulture eats rotten flesh.
Right.
The vulture will eat something dead. The vulture will, if it suspect that you're about to drop and die, it's gonna circle around and fly around till you drop and die, and then it's gonna come and land and eat you. Keep going.
Verse 15. Every raven after his kind.
Every raven after his kind. The Bible says, excuse me, when the Bible says after his kind, it's naming these birds, but these birds have different, species. So look at a raven. A raven, what would it be a raven out here? I don't think we have ravens out here, but a crow is in the kind of a raven. The same kind, just a different species. So when you read this, it's not specific. It's not pointing out every animal. There's so many different species of one animal. Like the next one is the owl. There's so many different species of an owl. So many in the world. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And that, so like you said,
read that one from the top.
Verse 15. Every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the gray owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gear eagle, and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat, all fowls that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you.
So these are all an abomination to us. Now, I know Black and Hispanic people. I don't know a Black and Hispanic person that would want to try and eat these things. But I do know a people that would try to eat these things. I do know a people that would look at these things and say, "Oh, these might be good. Maybe, let me try one. I just shot one. Just shot one down. Let me try one." You understand? The cormorant is, if you have a question, the cormorant is a derivative. This represents the type of birds that are aquatic, but they fly, also eat fish and eat anything, like a duck. So ducks are unclean also. I don't want anybody to be confused. Any questions y'all got, put them in it. We know, you can look at these things and say, they don't look like they food. They don't look like I should be trying to eat these, pluck the feathers and cook them. I stick with turkeys and chickens and, things of that nature. I'm cool on this.
Right.
And y'all should know by now, don't touch a bat.
Right.
That's how they say COVID-19 started. You know what I mean? Keep reading.
Verse 18, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gear eagle. Verse 19, and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. Verse 20, all fowls that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you.
Right.
Verse 21, yet these may ye eat of every flying creeping thing that goeth upon all four, which have legs above their feet, that leap with all upon the earth.
So these things you can't eat. And let me just say, let me go back. I'm reversing. When it comes to chewing the cud, right? A giraffe is actually clean. Now, will we ever eat giraffe? Probably never. You know what I mean? Now, but if we lived in West Africa, somewhere out there, maybe we might have some giraffe. But in America, we'll never have giraffe. But it is clean according to the Bible. You know what I mean? But that giraffe I would think is a protected, endangered species. It's another one on this list that I can't remember right now. But when it comes to my mind, I think about it. What is it? A moose. A moose also falls under clean. But a moose is a protected animal because they've been hunted so much, right? Let's go.
Verse 22, even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind.
So these are some things that we probably could eat, but we probably wouldn't try, right? Just because of the conformity to the culture that we live in, these things don't seem like food and they seem grotesque, right? but they are clean according to the Bible, which is what again? The locust. Go ahead.
The locust after his kind, the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind.
So locust, a beetle, and those things. Let's speed it up for time's sake. Let's see. Skip to 27, verse 27.
Verse 27. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all four, those are unclean unto you. Whoso toucheth their carcass shall be unclean until the even.
So animals that go on their paws on all four, and these just represent the animals. These are not necessarily specific, right? Apes. But you have some societies that they'll eat gorilla. In Asia, they eat monkeys. Those little monkeys that be jumping around, they eat monkey brains. And you know some people eat cats. That's why you shouldn't be trusting all this food, this Chinese food. People eat bears. There's some people that try to eat tiger, eat wolf, eat dogs. Read that from the top.
Okay. Verse 27. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all four
amongst it on his paws. Go ahead.
Those are unclean unto you.
They're unclean to you. So when you talk about dogs, you're talking about canine, the canine family. When you talk about cats, you're talking about that feline family. And I got this tiger up here, but that represents a lion, a jaguar, a cheetah, a lynx, a bobcat, every cat in the cat family. Also, the wolf represents a dog. It represents every what you call those dogs in Africa? A hyena. Every dog in that dog canine family. You ain't supposed to be trying to turn them into a dish. Go ahead.
So like it says whoso touches their carcass, like meaning after they've died, like but before they're died, it's to watch. Oh, I pet a dog.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Whoso toucheth their carcass shall be unclean until the even. And he that
so if you touch their carcass, meaning they did, you touch the carcass, you are unclean until the evening, until the sun goes down. You're unclean if you touch pig carcass, a dead pig. You touch some pig meat that your mama brought into the house, you unclean until the evening. Go ahead.
Verse 28. And he that beareth the carcass, them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. They are all unclean. So like they are unclean unto you.
So if you're a man that have bared it, meaning you have picked up the carcass. You have let's just say there's a dead a dead skunk or something like that. So let's just say there's a dead a skunk in your yard, a dead squirrel that got ran over. You pick it up to get it out the way, get out the street or something. You are unclean until the evening. That's what it means by saying bear. He that bear it. Go ahead.
Verse 29. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth. The weasel and the mouse and the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret and the chameleon and the lizard and the snail and the mole. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever do touch them when they be dead shall be unclean until the even.
So all of these things are unclean unto you. Read it from the top one time, so like
Verse 29. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth. The weasel and the mouse. And
the weasel and the mouse. The weasel is like a I don't know what family a weasel is. I don't got a weasel up here, but a weasel is like in that family of what's some things it's called, like minks and it's like beavers or something like that. There's these animals. I can't think of the name of them, but people use them and train them to go and kill mouse in holes. So you hold them You put them down, they'll run into a hole and get whatever it is in there and bring it out. They real smart and they real deadly at the same time. But anyway, read it from the top.
Verse 29. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth.
That creep upon the earth. Go ahead.
The weasel, the mouse, and the tortoise after his kind.
The mouse and the tortoise. Now, the mouse represents what? It represents rats, hamsters, everything that is in that kind. And then the tortoise, it represents every turtle and everything that's in its kind. Go ahead.
And the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard.
The ferret, the chameleon. These are a ferret is like another one of those little vermin animals. The lizard, we know what the lizard is. Go ahead.
And the snail, and the mole.
And the snail, and the mole. Why is the Lord saying these things though? Why is the Lord telling, like, now you think about it, you're, as a Black and Hispanic person, you're listening to this and you're saying, well, shit, I would never eat none of this. But there are people that eat this.
Right.
In this world, there are people that make these things delicacy. There are people that say that snails are a delicacy. Go ahead.
Verse 31. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever do touch them when they be dead shall be unclean until the even.
Now, let me just sidebar real quick. When it came to the time, when it was the time of us being enslaved, and a lot of people in down south, I know y'all know this, and there's even places here. There's people that eat alligator. There's restaurants that serve alligator right out here. So I know when you go to Florida, you go to those areas where alligators are more in the population, you know that they eat that. There's people that have eaten snakes. Some of y'all brothers and sisters have eaten snake before. Some of y'all have eaten rabbit before. You didn't eat frog legs before. Right? Now, when it comes to when we think about slavery, in slavery, to supplement the diet, you know what the slaves would do? The slaves would sneak out in the middle of the night, go into the forest and hunt opossums. They would eat opossums. Opossums are unclean. But to supplement their diet, to put some extra on their stomach because they was hungry, and it's hard to sleep when you're hungry, you've been working all day. They would go out and hunt opossums and eat opossums with potatoes, right? This actually happened. Go ahead.
So like, I was gonna say, even in like Peru and Ecuador, guinea pig is real popular.
Guinea pig?
They eat guinea pig and stuff like that.
Right.
They're saying rats.
Right. True. The Most High is telling us because we don't want us to follow the other nations. Go ahead.
Yeah, like you saying rats and stuff, like guinea pigs, hamsters. Yeah, it's real popular in Peru.
Guinea pigs and hamsters are real popular. But that is something that we did. We to supplement our diet, what we did was we went to go eat something that was unclean. We went to go eat something unclean, and a lot of times, listen, even in slavery, I could show y'all, but for time's sake, I'm not gonna show y'all. But they used to feed us in this trough. Y'all know what a trough is? A trough is how you would feed your horses and your cows. You just put the food in there, and they walk up and they line up and they eat out of it. That's how they would feed the slaves. And what they would do was take pork fat, mix it with cornmeal into a mush, probably throw some vegetables in it, mush it up, and throw it in there like slop. And that's what we would do. In the Bible, your enemies, I didn't even get to the story of the 7 brothers that was forced to eat swine flesh. And they all died because they refused to eat swine flesh. Because the other nations knew that when we ate unclean, that the Lord was not with us. The other nations knew that. So you don't think that the white man understands that? You don't think that America understands that, when they're pushing pork onto our community? You don't think they understand that if we eat unclean, even with that, the Lord ain't with us. Right. And you wonder why we have so many. We're number one in every health problem, heart disease, high blood pressure. We have so many health issues, and a lot of it boils down to eating unclean foods, eating foods that the Lord said don't eat. A lot of y'all eat those crab boils. Down south, Louisiana, they love those crab boils. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff is hurting us. You're eating the roaches of the sea. You know why shrimp and crab and lobster is so plentiful? Because it's the roaches of the sea. Roaches are plentiful. Roaches reproduce like that. So do the roaches of the sea. And that's why they can always fish them up and put them on your dinner plate, put them in a restaurant, and make you think in your mind that you living, you doing big, you living good because you eat the delicacy. We was eating shrimp and lobster and steak, and in reality, you're just eating a crustacean. You're eating an ocean filtration device. Let me show you something. I forgot about that one. I got a video for you. Let me show you this, how they filtrate the water. Y'all like this one. Now this is fast forwarded, right? Time lapse. So on one side you have oysters in the tank, and as you can already see the difference. You have some water that they put oysters in one, and there's no oysters in the other. Now watch over time what happens. It's great. They are literally cleaning the water. Do you know what a filtration system is? What do you think all of the pollutants and the things they're cleaning out is going to? It's going inside the oyster. Right. That's where it's going to. Literally. That is what you are putting in your body. Now imagine you have filtration systems that go into sinks and they clean the water, and all of the contaminants and everything goes into that filtration system while you drink fresh water. That's like taking that little filter, cooking it, and then eating it. When you eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, they are filtration systems of the ocean. Right. And that's just science. But the Lord said, just don't eat it because it's unclean. Right. You didn't know that the Lord, that it was a science into it. You should have just obeyed the Lord, and maybe you would have saved yourself of all the physical ailments that you got while you have a good time eating these unclean foods and going to your doctor and saying, why can't you figure out what's wrong with me? And the doctor like, I don't know. It's because you are the children of God, and you are going against the dietary laws of the Most High. Right. And you are suffering for it, and you don't know. And your Christian pastor ain't showing you either. If you could, let me just get Salaki. Damn, I had so much to go into. We can go into that another day, okay? So what I was going to go into is 1 Timothy 4, 1-4, where Christians go in and show you the scripture that says that you can eat anything. You receive it with thanksgiving if you pray over it and all that. Also Isaiah 66-17, where it talks about anybody caught eating swine flesh and consuming rats, or you're going to be put to death. And Romans 14:2, where we go into people that proclaim that we should be vegans, and that why are you eating meat? Because it's an animal that's been killed, and you're taking on that dead flesh. You're eating dead flesh. A lot of people talk about that, like you eat. I mean, plants are dead too. What are you talking about? Plants were once alive, then they're dead when you eat them. I don't understand y'all with that. But I can go in that at another time. Okay. So let me see. Sister said, sir, is it unlawful to have a pet turtle or any of these? No, it is not unlawful to have a pet turtle, as well as it is not unlawful to have a pet pig. You can have they say that pig, what we just see in that video? It said that pigs, they smell better than the bloodhound,
Right.
and they bite harder than the Rottweiler. So from what I understand, a pet could be a great pig, and it'll eat your trash. You get rid of your trash, right? She said, or is it unlawful to touch or eat it? It is not unlawful to touch it. We're talking about now if it was dead. If it was dead and you touch it, you are unclean to the evening. And definitely it's unlawful to eat a turtle. I covered that earlier, but that is one of the animals in its kind. Anything that creeps what on all four on its stomach, turtle falls into that category, right? So I hope I answered that question. I hope you got that. Okay. Says one guy was there to eat a snail and he did and ended up paralyzed. Good night. Damn. He ate a snail and got paralyzed. Was he your brother? That's crazy. But this is another thing. You know, when they break down those lobsters and stuff, ain't it something in the middle that they rip out that you don't eat? Because if you eat it, you can die. It's like the entrails. They rip out. It's like a little black line that they rip out. That's crazy. A dude ate a snail and he got paralyzed. But that's why the Lord said, don't eat snails.
Right.
To me, eating a snail is like eating anything that's crawling on the ground. A roach. And I'm talking about the big roaches that come out the sewer. Oh, he was a devil, but good night. That's crazy. Is there any more on that? Let's see if there's some more on that. Oh, Salakia. Just drop that. I know the brother got another class. Let me get to this King David stuff. We're going to drop that. If there's anything I forgot, we're going to follow it up on next class, y'all. All right? Let me get to some of this stuff now. King David was a man after the most highest heart. A lot of times they like to say that, you know, the Bible ain't real. There never was a King David. There never was a nation of Israel. It didn't exist. We can't find their bodies. We can't find the body of Jesus. We can't find the body of Moses. You know why you can't find them? Why they can't find them? Y'all got answer. Go ahead.
Because the Lord don't want it to be found.
Okay, I'll take that. The Lord don't want them to be found. But it's more to that. Why can't they find the bodies of Christ, of King David, of Moses, and the patriarchs? Why can't they find the bodies? And they say the Bible wasn't written. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
That's it. It's hidden.
It's hidden too. Trooper Gadash, if I may, sir, Christians use any excuse to do what they want. They don't hold themselves accountable. You damn right they don't hold themselves accountable. They can't find the bodies of the patriarchs or any Israelites because we buried ourselves like we bury ourselves today in a ossuary or a coffin, right? In a sepulcher. That's how we buried. We didn't embalm our people like the Egyptians. A lot of people would like to say, well, we can find this pharaoh and that pharaoh body. Yeah, because they thought they was going to go into an afterlife and they embalmed themselves so that it can last for thousands of years. We buried ourselves just how you get buried today. And guess how long that lasts? About 200 years. And your body is nothing. Your body is non-existent. Understand? If you went to go dig up George Washington's body today, you wouldn't get much. That's the point. The point is that like they talk about embalming. Y'all put all kind of oils and salts and all kind of ways to embalm. And the Egyptian mummies are not the best preserved bodies. With all that work they did, you know what some of the best preserved bodies are? The ones in Ireland, in the bogs. They have these bogs and this peat moss mud that they bury bodies in, where it was airtight. And these bodies, they're able to extract DNA and all kinds of stuff. Skin still intact and everything's still intact. So they went through all that trouble, and those ain't even the best mummified remains. These remains were mummified on accident. Just somebody getting killed and thrown into a damn bog. Somebody dying in Antarctica and freezing to death with no type of moisture or anything. It's so cold, and they get preserved. But anyway, these are just some. I'm just bringing that out because what I want to talk about is the fact that when they say there's nothing, if you look hard enough, there's something. If you look hard enough, it's a reason why people say that. They don't want the story to be true. They don't want it to be true that the Israelites were a real people, because then all the lies will have to burn away. The people in Israel today will have to go away. The lies will have to burn away, and people will say, well, damn, these were niggas. These were black people that were God's chosen people. So let me show you this. And I've showed y'all some of this before. Okay. This is the image of King David in Russian icon. This is King David. Dawada in the Hebrew. The Lord was with King David. And King David was imperfect, but the Lord loved King David. He loved King David so much that he said, listen, Christ is going to come out of your reigns. Y'all asked us why we wear the shirt of David, the Dawada, the Magun Dawada in ancient Hebrew. We wear the shirt of David because it represents Christ. Because Christ is going to sit on the throne of his father, King David.
That's right.
That's why we wear it. Now, this sculpture is from, and I want you to understand, this sculpture is from France in 1100 AD. Like all iconoclasm and all sculptures, when you look at them, from every dark race, the nose has been knocked off, but you can still tell that this is a black man. It's King David. It's dated 1145 AD. It's in the Met Museum in New York, New York. Of course, you got to knock the lips off. You got to knock the nose off, because you don't want everybody to know that King David was a nigga. Go ahead.
Sorry, that he looked angry.
King David looked indignant. You're right. He looked angry. Here's another one. There's a King David statue in Israel that they made, that the people in Israel were so mad that they made this statue that they knocked the nose off. I think they might have, no, they didn't. Excuse me. I was going to say, I think that they might have fixed it, but they didn't fix it. Let me pull this one up real quick. It's an image of King David that an artist actually made, and he put it in ancient, and he put it in Israel. I was gonna say ancient. He put it in Israel, the Israel you know today. And people were so upset that they knocked the nose off. Okay. They were so upset that they said, "The hell with it," and they knocked the nose off. Let me just, I'm gonna blow it up here. King David playing the harp. But they were so upset. And this is in modern Israel today. It's standing today. They were so upset that a real, actual statue of what King David looked like, a nigga, they knocked the nose off. This has been happening for thousands of years. No sweat. When the God of Israel returns, Christ returns, and everybody sees that he is a black man, they will be sore afraid. And it will be gnashing and gashing of teeth. This is a fresco of King David, the icon of King David. And if you have seen this before, with the bucket hat in its older age. All right. I hate to bust your bubble and hurt feelings, but the Israelites were black.
That's right.
The Israelites were niggas. The Israelites were Hispanic. The Israelites were Puerto Rican. The Israelites were Dominican. The Israelites were black and brown. Native American Indians. The Issacharites were Israelites. Black and brown people were God's chosen people.
Right.
That's who God's chosen people were. It wasn't no pale faces in the vicinity. It wasn't none of those pale faces. Those were not God's chosen people.
Right.
These are God's chosen people. And sooner or later, you're going to realize that everything that you have learned was a damn lie. Everything that you have learned has been fabricated and built up to make white people feel good about themselves.
Right.
And the whole time, black people have had their heads down, feeling like they were slaves, feeling like they were people who were conquered, feeling like they were people who were once a proud people, but now they have nothing to look to. But you do have something to look to, because the God of heaven and earth is black.
Right.
The God of heaven and earth is coming, and he's not. When the sky cracks, it won't even matter anymore, because at that time, you're going to realize that the God of heaven and earth has always loved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
And that these other nations, they're going to realize, they're going to look up and they're going to say, like the scripture says, they're going to say, damn, we have done all of this and said we were all great and we boasted ourselves, and we have inherited lies. Everything that they have told us was a lie. We thought that we were puffed up. We thought that we were the people. We thought that we created civilization. We thought that we brought, all of these great things. When in reality, it's been these black and brown people that we have hated. And these people are actually God's chosen people.
Right.
And they will be covered with shame. They're going to be covered with shame, and they're going to have to come to you and bow down their heads like those black people had to do with the mistress, with the missus, with the babies when they were born in plantation. Everybody had to come and bow down and say, yes, master. They're going to have to come and bow down to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
And call you master.
That's right.
With that's the class. Hey, shout out to everybody that's been in. Let me look at the chat real quick. Give me a second. Let me look at the chat. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters that's been rocking with me from this whole class. I'm gonna start from the top so I don't miss anybody. Okay. Let's see. Kawamaz Baf. Denny's always up in here. Natazaki Howard up in here. Raiha, Cheyenne, Ya'ala up in here. Nazam, Anna, Jewel up in here. Halak Ban Yashikar up in here. Rayana UPK up in here. Tribe of Benjamin up in here. Black Dazzle always up in here. Trooper Kodash, my nigga, up in here. Prince, let me see. Prince Ray, 8613 up in here, Vegas. Let's see. Make sure everybody got Davion was up in here. Laha was up in here. Ayla was up in here. Yeah, thank you for rocking with us. You know what I mean? Listen, we're gonna be bringing some heavy information. I think I'm gonna go into maybe I'm not for sure. I might go into next week. We're going to the Spanish Inquisition when they expelled the Jews out of Spain, and go into that history to let you see that Israelites were in Spain, ruling Spain with Arabs, and they called them the Moors. And you realize Moors are just a term for anybody that's black. It's real sketchy for you to say that we the Moors. That's not a nationality, because anybody black was called Moors at that time. But just to show that the Israelites were in Spain, they brought learning, science, math. They brought all kind of things to Spain when the Vigasos were ruling, who were Edomites. They didn't even like to take a bath, right? And we brought that to Spain. And then when we were expelled out of Spain, we went into the interiors of North Africa and West Africa, all the way down to Timbuktu. There's also a living descendant that is living today. He's a professor from Timbuktu that traced his line back to his great-great-great-grandfather living in Toledo, Spain, and expelled during the Spanish Inquisition, and he relocated in Timbuktu. So with that, I want to thank everybody. Also, General Katham in New York, in the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, is going to be giving out food and clothes, coats to the immigrant brothers and sisters that are in New York, right? That have been put in shelters in New York City. I'm sure all of y'all know about the immigrant crisis that has been going on, where they sent some of our brothers and sisters to New York in different cities, and they are housing them. Well, the ISUPK is going to help those brothers and sisters by feeding them and clothing them, giving them coats for the wintertime. So with that, we up out of here, Israel. Shalom, vote in Christ.